Welcome in everybody. Today we are talking about Alela Artful Provocateur. For one, white, blue, black. You get a 2/3 flying to touch lifelink fairy warlock. With other creatures you control, get with flying, get plus 1/+0. And whenever you cast an artifact or enchantment spell, create a 1/1 blue fairy creature token with flying. So, artifact, enchantment synergy. Pretty popular commander, I would say. I've seen it quite a few times with other people. This is my build of it. A little bit different. There are some things that are common among Alela builds, but I hope it's a little bit different, stands out for y'all in a bit. So just go ahead and throw Alela up there. And without further ado, starting number 10, we have Obscura Charm. Just a pretty simple card. Works as a counter spell, costs Esper. Choose one, either return target multicolor permanent with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. It's a counter spell, counter target instant or sorcery spell, or destroys target creature or planeswalker mana value 3 or less. Just a good card that has a lot of value, has a lot of different interactions that I like to have in hand. So pretty fun. Stays in the deck and really helps you have options in your hand. That's at 10. At number 9, I have Strionic Resonator. It's a 2-drop artifact with pay 2, tap it, copy target triggered ability you control. You may choose new targets to copy. And also, a triggered ability uses the words when, whenever, or at. So, Alela has whenever in her ability. So you can pay 2, you can create another token. And it's pretty much what you want to do with this deck. You want to swarm them with your flying tokens because they get +1/+0. This helps you create more tokens. And I've used it before a couple times. Usually works. Don't normally have a lot of extra mana, but it's kind of like a budget piece, but it ends up working for me. At number 8, a favorite of mine is Midnight Clock. So for 2 and a blue, you get a artifact that you can tap to add blue. So it's like a mana rock. You can pay 2 and a blue to put an hour counter on Midnight Clock. And its effect reads, at the beginning of each upkeep, put an hour counter on Midnight Clock. And when the 12th hour counter is put on Midnight Clock, shuffle your hand and graveyard into your library, then draw 7 cards, exile Midnight Clock. So it gives you a brand new hand. And in a commander game with 4 people in the game, you get 3 goes around, and this usually goes off if you get it down pretty early. Most people kind of ignore it as well because they just see it as like a mana rock. Does get counters on it, does work pretty well. Getting the extra hand in just 3 turns is really, really good. You get to shuffle your graveyard and your hand in, get 7 fresh new cards. Highly, highly, highly recommend. I love this 3-drop rock. One of my favorites. At number 7 is Ellis Ilkor. Sadistic Pilgrim for white and black. You get a 2/2 legendary creature, Phyrexian Core Cleric with Death Touch. And whenever another creature is battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. Whenever another creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. So it's just a little piece to give a little bit of a ping damage and synergy to the deck. You create a lot of tokens, so you get to gain life from it. And when you just suicide those tokens or use them as chump blockers, you get to have your opponents lose life. So usually works pretty well in the deck because it's a lot of tokens. As far as being a flyer, I mean, it's not one, but it usually works for me. I really like it. Gives you some extra little damage here and there. And life gain as well. At number 6 for me, 6 is Thunderclap Wyvern. So for 2 white and blue, you get a 2/3 Drake. It has flash, it has flying, and other creatures you control with flying get +1/+1. Anthem effect. Boost up your flyers. You can flash it in on your opponent's turn when they're attacking. Boost your creatures up. So with the Alela out, this out, each of your flying creatures get +2/+1. Really good creature. I really enjoy it. I would recommend having this in your deck because it's a flying synergy deck. Number 5, building off of it, Empyrean Eagle. So for 1, a blue and a white, so 1 less than Thunderclap Wyvern, you get a 2/3, same power, Bird Spirit with flying. Doesn't have flash though. Other creatures you control with flying get +1/+1. So same Anthem effect, 1 cheaper. Doesn't have flash though. This is just a better version of Thunderclap Wyvern. This out with those 2, you get to just boost up your little flyers all over the place. And number 4, Skyway Robber. A bit of a different card here. So for 3 and a blue, you get a 3/3 bird rogue with flying. You can cast it for its escape cost. So for 3 and a blue, exile 5 other cards from your graveyard, and you may cast this card from your graveyard for its escape cost. So if it's in your grave, you can always cast it by exiling other things in your grave. And then when Skyway Robber escapes with, whenever Skyway Robber deals common damage to a player, you may cast an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell from among cards exiled with Skyway Robber without paying its mana cost. So it's flying, so it's most likely going to connect with damage unless someone else is playing like flying synergy. And the good thing is that the cards you exile with it, you get to bring them back, and they come back, and then when they die again, they just go back to the graveyard. So it's really good. I really enjoy it. It's a good way to get things back, and you get to cast them for free essentially. So if you need card draw spells, you have to exile them because of this. You get to just cast them for free, draw cards, or if you cast artifact spells, you get to create off of Alela. So this card just is very synergistic with the deck. A lot of things in this deck get removed because you're running a lot of artifacts and enchantments and things like that, and other instants and sorceries like Obscure Charm. You got a lot of draw spells like Ponder, those kinds of things. So really fun card. A little bit different. I just wanted to change something up, give different flavor in my deck from what other people might have, and this is one of those cards. Really like that one. At number 3, staple in Alela decks, what can I say? Magus of the Moat. 2 and 2 white for a 0/3 human wizard. Creatures without flying can attack. Just to shut down your opponents, and one of the few non-flying creatures along with Alela Core. So yeah, you just don't want your opponents to have the ability to attack. So you shut them down with this, and you kind of control the game. Then you just protect this as long as you can. Equip it with greaves, with boots, those kinds of things. Yeah, so I mean, that's a staple. That one's pretty much one that you see all the time in most Alela decks. At number 2, Court of Grace. For 2 and 2 white, you get an enchantment spell, so it triggers Alela's ability. When Court of Grace enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch. So the Monarch is, I believe, at instant you draw a card, and then at the beginning of your upkeep, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. If you're the Monarch, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying instead. So why that's important is because you're creating flyers, and those flyers get the Anthem boost, and both things that are created with this are both flyers. So it's just more tokens, more things to do, more things for Alela Core to trigger, more things for Thunderclap and Empyrean Eagle to both boost up. This card's so good. And then Strionic Resonator can activate, can do this. It's just so good. I like this card in this deck a lot. It's really so good. And at number 1, another curveball. One of my favorites from 2021. I believe this is the 2021 set. Yeah, has to be. Dreadfeast Demon, but me and my pod, we call it Dreadfast Demon. So Dreadfast Demon is a 5 and 2 black 6/6 demon with flying. And it has at the beginning of your end step, sacrifice a non-demon creature. If you do, create a token that's a copy of Dreadfast Demon, Dreadfeast Demon. So you're making tokens with Alela that are 1/1s. And you can just sack those at the end of turn to trigger Alela Core. Each opponent will lose a life. And you get to make a copy of Dreadfast Demon. And that copy comes into 6/6. You trigger Alela Core again, you gain a life, and you just keep doing that. And this can get really out of hand really quickly. It's only at the beginning of your end step. So this, I've seen this take over a table in Standard. When I played in Standard against it, it's been so good. But really, really good though. Really good. And then each token can also trigger and make more. And it's just, man, it's just so good. I really like this in this deck. It's just a big flyer that you can make more copies of. And it's very underrated, I think. It is a lot of mana though. 7 mana is a ton. But I think it's worth it in this deck. I really think it's worth it in this deck. Alright, so going over it one last time, we got Dreadfeast Demon at number 1. Number 2 is Court of Grace. 3 is Magus of the Moat. 4, Skyway Robber. 5 Empyrean Eagle, 6 Thunderclap Wyvern, 7 Elixir Core, Sadistic Pilgrim, 8 Midnight Clock, 9 Strionic Resonator, and 10 Obscura Charm. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. This isn't a deck I get to play a lot just because I don't really like how much it has to control the board and how much flying is not that fun to play against. But every once in a while I do bring it out. Like to have some synergy, have some fun with it. Very different though. I feel like a lot of these you might not see in some people's deck, like Skyway Robber, Court of Grace, a bit of a it's a card you might not see a lot. Dreadfeast Demon for sure, probably don't see a lot in Commander. And then Elixir Core and like Midnight Clock and Strionic Resonator. Probably things you don't see a lot in Alela builds. So I try to be different with my deck builds. I hope y'all understand that. I hope y'all enjoy that when I talk about my stories with them. But yeah, really fun deck for me to play. I really enjoy having it. Go ahead and drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Make sure to comment down below if you want to see more of these. And make sure to share the video and subscribe. That being said, thank you for watching, supporting my channel. And I'll catch y'all later. Have a nice one. See ya.